April is National Financial Literacy Month. We all work hard to make our money, but how much do we know about managing it? It's never too late to learn. Financial advisor Rob Wilson here's to tell us about a program helping area students becoming financially literate. But I think we could all learn a good lesson from this. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
Yeah, first of all, how much is taught to high school students and college students about finances in school?
Not enough. And if you think about a couple of the issues that are really facing the country right now that we're arguing and bickering over, it's really healthcare and it's the financial crisis. So why do we don't talk more about health and wealth in school? I really don't understand that.
Yeah.
But I brought a couple of numbers. There are only 4 states that require a dedicated personal finance course in high school.
Wow.
There's another 20 states that require you to include that in some other course, including Pennsylvania, but it's really not enough. And so there's a poll that came out that where 45% of students said that they were really unprepared to manage their finances once they graduated.
Wow.
So when you don't start early, it really creates a ripple effect throughout the future.
Well, and it shows once they get to college how many kids have so many credit cards and come out with so much credit card debt, not to mention their student loans.
Without a doubt, 50% of students in college have 4 or more credit cards. Why you need 4,
wow,
I'm not really sure. The average senior graduates with $4,100 in debt, which is up from $2,900 in 2004, and only 17% of these students pay their bill every month. That means they're carrying a balance, they're paying a lot of interest. And here's a quick example. If you have a $4,100 bill, 15% interest rate, and you pay $80 a month, it's going to take you 6 years to pay that bill off. So you're going to be well into your career, maybe you're on your second job, and still be paying for things that you purchased in college. So it's really not a good situation.
No. All right. So where do we start in terms of getting the education out there?
Well, I tell you what, it's not always, you know, the nuts and bolts, stocks and bonds and mutual funds. I think first we have to start with where people borrow a lot of money for, and that's housing and that's education. And I think you might want to start to redefine what the American dream is. Is it necessarily buying a home, or should it be financial independence? So for example, if a young professional goes out and buys a house right after they graduate from college, you can't move. It's much harder for you to move if the job situation changes and you need to go to another city or another state. And also, I think maybe we need to stress entrepreneurship a little bit more than maybe just teaching everyone how to be a good employee.
Interesting. Okay, so dollars and cents. Once we learn kind of those big picture things, what about the nuts and bolts?
Well, I think you really got to start early. You know, it's never too early to start. If you have very young kids, teach them the value of money, how to count it, and make sure they know if they lose it, they're losing something of value. Have them do chores, jobs. Set a good example. Even if you don't have your situation quite together, they can absolutely learn from your mistakes. And you want to start to make them financially responsible. If they want a couple of things big for Christmas, maybe make them save for one of those as opposed to buying them everything. And then also maybe make them responsible for a bill. Maybe that cell phone that they should pay every month. They won't want it to be turned off and have their friends know. So they'll start to build some responsibility there.
That's a good point. I think we're so used to giving so many things to our kids, but really you're teaching them a lesson, and you're not being mean to them by asking them to pay for something.
They have to learn sometime, and actually today I'm starting to practice what I preach. And so I'm part of a program. I'm on the board of Northside Urban Pathways Charter School, which is right here downtown, and we instituted a program called The Best Kept Secret to help expose them to careers, because you have to put all this financial stuff in context, and you can't have stocks and bonds and mutual funds if you're not making any money. So what I'm doing, they're actually shadowing me here today, and I have a full day plan for them. We're going to meet a bunch of professionals that they can meet and learn from, and hopefully walk away with the feeling that they can do the same thing.
Would you advise other young people to start doing job shadows even in high school?
Without a doubt. I think that's very important, because sometimes if you don't have a family member or something who has pursued a certain career, you may not even know that that's available to you, or if it's a possibility. And if you can learn actually how they got from A to Z, then it becomes a lot easier for you to pursue the same path.
Do you think it's smart, especially once they start getting realistic about their future, ask these people, how much money can I make? How much will I make, you know, down the road early on? Because I think some people might get into careers thinking, okay, it's great, but not thinking about what that means financially for them.
You have to know what the dollars are going to look like, because you need to make sure when you go to college that the job that you're going to take is going to justify the tuition that you're paying at that college. And I think maybe sometimes people should think about going to a 2-year school, then transferring. It'll cost a lot less, and you'll still get a degree from a brand name institution. So you have to know what the dollars are in a career that you want to go into.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking about that now. You're right, because it's so much less expensive, for example, to go to CCAC for 2 years than Pitt or CMU.
Right, and you've seen we're having a lot of education cuts even here in Pennsylvania. So maybe go to a more inexpensive school, graduate, and you can still say I went to Pitt or I went to Carnegie Mellon or one of these schools.
Well, we've got some video I think we're going to be able to show our students who are here. Can you tell me a live picture of them again, what school they're from?
Wow, look at that. Urban Pathways Charter School, downtown. These are all the really top kids. They're very smart. We've got 100% graduation rate and also college acceptance rate. So they're doing a very great job at Urban Pathways.
That is fantastic. Very exciting. Well, Rob, thank you for being with us and for being a great example to them.
Thanks for having all of us today.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thanks to Rob Wilson of Blazer Capital Management. And you can look for his Money Monday segments here every other week.